in the mirror. Man, you're so dirty. Yeah, you look so dirty. You were never worthy. Lately, it's you.
Welcome to the Jeremy Hill Show. If you're easily triggered, leave now because this is not the show for you. Now, one thing I cannot stand is when I see a mother cuss out her children or child. I mean, they're so ghetto, so ratchet in behavior that when they see their child misbehaving or whatever it may be, they talk to that child like that child is a full-grown stranger, calling the child, you little MFer, F you, shut the F up. I cannot stand that. And to me, that should be considered to be child abuse. Okay, there's no need for that. So I made a video about this because I seen one mustard back heifer do this around at the corner store. And you see this a lot in the hood. And you wonder why your children act like they do. You wonder why your children cuss out the teacher. You wonder why the children don't have no respect for any type of authority. Look at what you're teaching them. You're teaching them to be aggressive. You're teaching them to be disrespectful and violent. Okay? There's no need to cuss out your children. It just ain't. So let's go ahead and get started on this right quick. Got something for you. Now what it is going to be a content curator going to show you another person who's doing this. Then we're going to get into it. Let's get it.
Yeah, please watch this video of this young lady talking to her 2 or 3 year old toddler. Apparently her daughter was acting up when they went into the store. But just look at the delivery and look at the way she's talking to her daughter. And she wonders why she's having such a hard time as a parent. And she's wondering why her kid is reacting the way that she is.
Like, taking my daughter out the house is like one thing I hate doing. Like, I would sit in the house all fucking week if I had to. Like, I've been feeling like a bad parent because I don't take her places, but she is so fucking bad that it irritates me. I'm in the fucking beauty supply store trying to get some shit for her. Everything in the back is damn near hers. I turn around at the register for 5 seconds to try to pay for my stuff. This motherfucker pours acrylic nail stuff all over their fucking floor. So I stop, I turn around. She gets the fucking running, just spilling this shit every fucking where. I'm like, Isla, stop. I'm not playing. I'm trying to be nice to you. This motherfucker is literally running around their whole fucking store. I had to chase this motherfucker and she done poured this shit everywhere on their floor. Like, that is so fucking embarrassing. I don't want to take her nowhere until she's fucking 10 years old. Shut the fuck up.
First of all,
Now, let me tell you, man, ain't nothing new. I've seen this a lot in my lifetime, and I still see it today. How can you even refer to your child as a motherfucker? For one, when you tell the story, you calling her a motherfucker the entire time about a 2 or 3 year old child. Child gets mad that you want to tell the child to shut the fuck up. Come on, man. I mean, seriously. You know what I mean? But this ain't nothing. I seen worse. I done seen them when they call you little bastards. You ain't nothing, you know what I mean? You ain't shit like your daddy. You know, shut the fuck up. You gonna be a hoe. Like, I done heard a lot. I done seen a lot. I mean, they have no problem talking to 2-year-old, 3-year-old, 4-year-old, 5-year-old, 10-year-old, 16-year-old. And if you a man who do this too, you ain't no man. If you calling your child, there's no need to cuss your child out like that. There's no need. You cussing your child out like this child and try to put their hands on you. You don't have that same energy for them co-workers, do you? When them co-workers out there talking crap to you, you ain't got that same energy. When people disrespecting you in the club, you try to shut the hell up. I don't want no problem because I got stuff to lose. You don't want these issues. But you have no problem bullying your child because that's bully behavior. You know what I mean? You are damaging those children. You are teaching them to be hateful-hearted. You know how you are affecting those children? You know how many young adults, when they get away from their parents and stuff, it's almost as if they taking a breath of fresh air. They out from underneath their rule. They don't feel like they got that heavy weight, that darkness on them because they have left that household of dysfunction. I met women who are beautiful women who act so messed up in their head because their mama was on drugs, cussing them out that way. Daddy was like that, or daddy was in there. Household is always divided. Household is always aggressive. The way they solve their problems is through arguing and cussing, fighting sometimes. Always no peace, always a distraction, some kind of. And these little children grew up like that. And when they get into the real world, they violent, they're disrespectful. You can't tell them nothing. They won't listen to a man because their mama didn't listen to a man. You get what I'm saying? You are raising these dysfunctional women. You are raising these ratchets. Y'all not baddies. Y'all ratchets, man. That's all it is. You ain't no baddie. You ratchet. You ain't no woman chasing a bag. You a hoe. That's all that is. And when you are expecting a man to pay for you, That means you're broke. It don't mean that he's dusty because he got it. If you think, oh, well, he want me, he got to pay for this, take me here, you can't afford it. This is where it starts. This is the origin of the musty back helpful women. Right here. You cussing them out all the time. Those children are innocent, man. Man, I don't like women who do that. I can't stand no person who feel that they have to be like that with a child. A child gonna be a child. A child gonna misbehave. A child gonna do things that gonna get on your damn nerve. If you didn't like that, you shouldn't have it. And the problem with this woman and with many women that I'm talking about who do that, they don't have no real fathers in those children's lives because they laid up with Pookie, Ray Ray, and Nook Nook. All they do is stay on their back with their legs in the air and let a man bust nuts in them. Then they push out these damn children like that, and they upset at the children because there's no discipline in that child's life. You wasn't an adult when you had that child, even when you were of age. Even if you were past 19 or 20 years old, you're not mentally mature enough to handle the also responsibility of having a child, you fool.
First of all, the fact that you were willing to show us you calling your daughter a mother effer, you called her bad, you told her to shut the fuck up on camera. I'm sure you do much worse behind closed doors. And that's why she's reacting like this, because she's literally uneasy. She has no emotional safety in you as her mother. You're not, and it's not even, a lot of y'all are saying gentle parenting. Gentle parenting doesn't mean that you just let your kid do whatever they want. It means that you approach them gently. You can still give the same message in a way that a child is able to receive. I love that somebody in the comments had commented, would your man be allowed to speak to you like this? And it's so true. A lot of y'all would never let your partner speak to you in the same way that you speak to your child. Another comment that she made that really threw me off was, she said, I'm trying to be nice to her. You're trying to be nice to your toddler? Why do you have to try to be nice to your toddler? And another thing that you said in that video that was probably super hurtful to you, and I want y'all to keep in mind that kids feel your energy. You're screaming and you're yelling as you're driving too. Like, that's just a lot going on. It's toxic and it's not a peaceful environment. But you said, well, I had to write this down. I don't want to take her anywhere until she's 10 years old. This is why I don't take her anywhere. And this is why she reacts to you the way she does, because you are not peaceful. Before y'all start popping babies out, look at yourself and look at your conflict resolution. Look at how you handle hard situations. Are you going to freak out and call your child a mother effer every time she has a tantrum or she's crying or doing whatever kids do?
That's a great, excellent point, man. That some of you girls, and I'm going to call you girls, just because you're able to push a baby out don't make you a full-grown woman. Let me tell you something. You need to look at yourself before you even consider having a child. Do you have the ability to have conflict resolution? How are you when you are in situations that you do not find favorable for your best interest? How are you when people disrespect you? How are you when people upset you? Are you argumentative? How do you respond when someone does something that upsets you? Do you cuss them out? Are you aggressive? Are you mean-spirited towards them? Do you hold grudges? Well, guess what? If that's how you are, that's how you're going to be with your child that come out your for JJ. The same way. And some of you say, no, I love it. I want to keep it. I'm not going to ever treat it wrong. Bullshit. Most times that's where that comes from. You have a habit of talking to people like that. The people you think you can push around mostly. Now, I'm going to tell you something. One sign that I've noticed, if you meet a man or a woman, if they got pets, they talk to their pets the same way that you heard that woman talk to that damn child, man. I done seen them where they cuss out their dogs, and I had to stop myself from doing, because I was around a woman who did it to their dog, and I have pit bulls. If you're not careful, man, if you're around the wrong energy, that energy will attach itself to you, and you'll start behaving like the person that you wish you never was acting like. I'm being honest with you. I done seen people cuss out their dog. You little mother, shut the F up, punch the dog. Man, I'm so against all that stuff. Anytime a person is like that with an animal, they are a bully. And if they are like that with an animal, they will do the same thing with a child or someone that they perceive to be weaker than them. It's always signs of these people. Bring a person around an animal, or if they got it, I know I'm going off a little bit, check it out. Go to their home. If they got a pet, see how they treat their pets, man. See how they treat their dog. The one animal that will love you no matter what you do. Always look forward to see you coming. That's the same way a baby is. Baby love when mama come up there. Baby hate when mama leave. But man, baby love being cuddled and held by mama. Baby hate it when mama leave. That's how these dogs be. Those children go through separation anxiety the same way the pit bulls do. And other dogs, other canines, man. And that's how you treat these. Some of y'all will treat your animals better than your own children. The dogs and stuff will get 3 square meals a day. Your child, I don't want to cook. I don't feel like cooking. Let me go get them something that's bad for their arteries and clog up their arteries with cholesterol. Let's go to McDonald's or something like that because I'm too lazy to cook. Meanwhile, you go give the dog healthy dog food from Purina. I'm making some analogies here. They're not too extreme. Because I know a lot of you done seen it before. You are not a real person if you bash your child over the head with your words like that. Those words hurt worse than you actually putting your hands on them, because you are scoring these children and they will always remember how mama treated them. And then you are not equipping them with knowing how to deal with other people. They don't know. When them kids grow up, they're going to have a hard time raising their own children. They're going to have a hard time pair bonding with a man. They're going to have a hard time following and respecting a man because mama was a jackass all her life coming up. Straight up. You ain't shit. You ain't shit, man. You ain't shit at all, bro. I can't stand that stuff, man. I can't stand it, man. You need to be locked up for that, man. Your kids should be taken away from you because you're destroying the future of the community. You are raising hellions. They're going to go through the damn hellions. You're going to have them going through the goddamn hood terrorizing people. And they got it from mammy. And if you're a man that do that shit, you ain't shit either. Point blank.
Their effort every time she has a tantrum or she's crying or doing whatever kids do. Y'all really need to think about these things before you're just popping out babies left and right. Like, yes, y'all want to have kids for the cute aesthetic, matching with your kid, doing their hair, but it comes with a lot more than that. And if you are not emotionally sound and in tune on the inside, your child is going to be taking the brunt of all of that. And they do not deserve that at all.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Some of y'all shouldn't be having children. Like I say, not everybody should have a pit bull. People want to have a pit bull because it's cool and stuff like that, because that's gangster and stuff like that. That's why all these pit bulls got bad reputation. Those are the sweetest dogs you ever have, unless you raise them to be. Now, I got one pit bull, he'll take your kneecaps off, but you have to understand your dog, and you got to have enough mental maturity and know how to be alpha, because those dogs, they pack dogs. Them pit bulls and stuff, they pack dogs, man. You can't, if you don't run your dog, a pit bull, they'll run your household. I don't keep them inside anyway. You know what I mean? But it's just the truth. You know what I mean? So you got to, man, I don't understand how y'all do those things, man. Those children are like, in my humble opinion, like the pit bull. Because if you raise a child the wrong way, they're going to be as vicious as a pit bull would be. And this is not disrespecting nobody. It's for educational purposes, but it's just what it is. Those kids reflect how they was raised, man. If I take one of my puppies and I treat him bad and do all this stuff, he won't be a pit bull. He'll be a trap pit bull for the trap house. He'll take off your leg. You get what I'm saying? It's sad how y'all treat these children, man. It's pathetic. Let me play this right here.
Please tell me I am not the only one who's seen that girl's video go viral of her basically explaining that her child is so fucking bad that she don't want to take her child nowhere until she's literally 10 years old. So for some context to that story, she basically proceeded to say, like, I guess she was in like a makeup store and her child, just being a child, I guess was spilling shit all over the place and just, you know, acting up. You know how it is, just acting up in the store, and it was embarrassing for her. And she's a young mom, and if it counts for anything, using her own words, she's a single mom. So I don't know if that counts for anything, that maybe she's bad because she's kind of doing it on her own. I'm not sure, because I don't have children for myself. But my problem is, this is what made her go viral. She was kind of ranting about basically how she don't want to take her child no fucking where else. And in the midst of that, her child was saying something in the backseat, because her child was in the backseat crying, mind you. So I guess she was frustrated, and obviously her child was frustrated. And I know for overstimulated mothers, just the whole situation is just fucking frustrating. She turned around and she said, "Shut the fuck up." Woo! When I say my spirit shook when I heard her tell her daughter that, I was like, bro, I thought that was a bit much, because for me as an adult, if I'm telling someone to shut the fuck up, like if I'm hitting you with one of those, bro, I'm talking to an adult, a grown ass man or woman who really pissed me off, and I've had it up to here. So now I'm gonna tell you, yo, get the fuck out of my face, or like if I ever say those words, baby, ready to just know I'm hitting you with the F-bomb, and we can square up and do whatever after that, because I don't give a fuck at this point, because bitch, you done pissed me off to the umpteenth degree. But to a child, so I'm no stranger to my friends having children, and they be cursing, you know, around their children, and Sometimes too, but for me, I don't like hard curse words to children. So like the F-bomb is a hard curse word to me. I would personally not tell my child to shut the fuck up, because I got to remember at the end of the day, these children are 1, 2, and 3. They are still learning life. They're still figuring it out. So I hope that she can maybe better counsel her daughter in like a better method, because I just feel like as her growth in her mom cursing like that and talking to her like a grown-ass person, it just seems like it would be detrimental to her development to some degree.
That's true, because what it is, you causing that child to lose its childhood. That child won't have no, you're taking away the child's innocence. Whenever you talk to a child like a grown person, like this lady say, like F you and all that stuff, you are robbing her from her childhood experiences. You are exposing her to how adults talk. Personally, I'd rather not have any cuss words around a child at all. You know what I mean? But I know this is not how the world works, you know what I'm saying? But even, I remember growing up myself, and a lot of people who actually had 2-parent homes, or even some who came from single-parent home who had people with common sense raised to them, there would be certain cuss words they wouldn't even say around their children. They might let the word shit or damn or something might slip out, but they wasn't saying nothing like, you, these motherfuckers, you know. But times are different now. I come from a time where if you were sitting down in front of TV with your parent and stuff, or parents, if you had both of them, and you watching TV and a sex scene came on, they'll tell you to turn your head, close your eyes, or leave the room, and then tell you to come back into the room after those people on the television set got finished doing the sex scene, or tell you to open your eyes afterwards. That's how they used to protect the child's innocence from the world. But don't get it wrong now. They know that a child is going to see these things eventually in life. They're going to be exposed to these things. But while you're in the household, you try to protect their innocence as much as possible. You don't want to rush them into growing up too quick. You want them to enjoy the times where they don't got to pay bills. You want them to enjoy the time where they don't have to worry about people backstabbing and betraying them. You want them to enjoy the time where they can just sit at home and, like, you know, eat Thanksgiving dinner with their parents before their parents pass on and stuff like that, before they get exposed to how people are just evil and wicked outside the house. That's something you're supposed to protect. That is a parent's responsibility, to preserve and to protect the childhood innocence. You're supposed to do that. You're not supposed to be throwing their asses on social media and you tired and bothered with them, so you give them your phone like that so they can go through and just be desensitized to things in the world and stuff, and be exposed to things that they've never been exposed to before. Now they want to try things because they're being peer pressured into doing things that are quote unquote popular according to what you're not supposed to be doing that, man. You're supposed to shelter them the best you can, because eventually the world is going to expose itself to them. But what we have right now is a bunch of musty back heifers who want to take away the innocence and expose the world to them at an early age. These girls, these young boys and young girls, their mind ain't developed yet. And when they 2, 3, 4, 5 years old, their minds are like the sponge. They say between the hours of not through the hours, but the ages of 2 to 8, if I'm correct, is the most impressionable years of any human being. This is where you pretty much learn everything. This is the cornerstone of what you're going to believe most times, is how you were raised during that time. Okay, you know what I mean? You can learn anything at that age. You can learn 3 or 4 instruments. You can learn 3 or 4 different languages during those ages when you're young, and it's more difficult as you get older to try to learn those new things. So when you're out there cussing your child out, you're teaching them how to cuss. You're teaching them how not to have any empathy or sympathy. You're teaching them how to be a butthole and a jackass just like you are. You get what I'm saying, man? Let's keep going.
Agree. But at the same time, I did see a lot of people in the comments saying, you know, I understand, girl, that's overstimulation. You're overstimulated. So for my friends or my TikTok friends that have children, help me understand, because I don't want to judge her too much. I heard a story and I get it. Kids can be bad as fuck. I get it. It can be sit down to sit your ass down. You know, I get it. Like, you know, sometimes you got to emphasize to get to the point. But as far as telling your child to literally shut the fuck up, like, shut the up, like, woo, I just, that spooked me. That was, and then her child literally just even went more berserk. So it was just like, what did that gain? That just helped nothing. It's just making a toxic environment. So it's like, I don't know, as a mom, to people who are moms, I'm not one yet in this present, but I do want to know, when you guys are overstimulated, do you think it's appropriate to talk to your child like that? You know what I mean? Again, I understand like maybe the subtle curse words, but the hard F-bombs, I think it's too much personally. It like hurt my heart to hear her say that to her child, but I don't know, you know, so, and I haven't been overstimulated as a parent. So, you know, I don't know what type of crazy that makes you. You know what I mean?
I don't understand this. Y'all use these words that, come on, man, overstimulation, man. Y'all find anything to excuse bad behavior, man. Check it out. The ones who say, oh, I understand, girl, you was overstimulated, those are the ones who do the same exact shit that we're talking about today. You don't think that your grandmother, your great-grandmother, even some of your mothers, they didn't get, quote-unquote, overstimulated? In other words, you are emotionally unable to handle conflict. That's all that you're trying to say to me. You know, because there's no excuse for bad behavior. In this society, we always look for a reason to excuse bad behavior. Well, they came from a single-parent home. They were exposed to this when they were growing up. X, Y, and Z is the reason why. There's no reason. If a person go out there and blow somebody's brains out, don't tell me some shit that they grew up in a broken home, that daddy was this, that mama was that. We hear that all the time in the court system. That's why the court systems fail Americans, and these people get hardly any sentences, and they release back on the streets, and they go take out somebody else, take somebody else's life on bond, okay? Regardless of the fact that those bad things happen to you, and those things are tragic, and I'm not saying that those things don't affect you, that it don't impact your way of thinking, but at the end of the day, something that happened to you 20 years ago has no effect on you pulling the trigger today to end someone's life. Do you hear what I'm saying? So all this overstimulation, I'm mentally stimulated. Oh my God, I couldn't control myself. I had no self, you know what I mean? I couldn't do anything. I had no, shut the hell up with that. It's just excuses. Excuses are like nooses. You'll kill yourself if you give yourself enough rope of it. That's crazy.
Especially if you're doing it by yourself. So I would like to hear from y'all. Let's talk about it. Educate me on how that shit works, because I do plan to be a mom in the future. So I understand also that gentle parenting is not for every child. I fully believe that. I say you can try that method, but if that shit ain't working, baby, you need to go ahead on and get that belt. Go back to them old days, because let me tell you something, that belt never lied, honey. That belt never lied. I'm telling you. But anyway, I would like to hear from y'all in the comments.
Well, the Bible said if you don't spank your child, you know what I'm saying, you don't love your child. That's in, I think, in Proverbs, you know what I'm saying? You're supposed to use a belt and discipline your child, bro. That never goes away. The problem is y'all want to remove everything that was painful in the past that actually helped you become a good person today. Spankings is a necessity, in my most humble opinion, for children. You're going to have to do that. You're going to have to spank the child. If you don't spank that child, you know who's going to spank them? The police. You know who's going to spank them? The judge. You know who's going to spank them? The people in that cell. You know who's going to spank them? The people in that prison. You got to start putting discipline in them at an early age, man. Foolishness is bound in the heart of a fool, but the rod of correction will chase it far away. And the rod could be a lot of things. It could be a shoe, it could be a slipper, it could be a switch, it can be an extension cord, it can be a belt, or whatever it is to get that point across, man. You have to chasing your child. And the way you chastise a child is not through cussing them out and tearing them down and making them feel like crap. That's not chastising your children. That's abusing your children. But yeah, so you let me know what you think about this situation, man. I'll talk to y'all pretty soon. Y'all have a good one now. You hear?